Well, I'm here again. I have to replay Timeout Visitor. Because I had a bit of a bindigo and replayed it in the same save file as the old. So, therefore making my old progress useless. And considering the game comes out in approximately 6 hours and 54 minutes, and my progress will carry over for when I inevitably stream it later on at midnight, I will have to replay this in order to continue right off where I left off. Before I do that, I'd just like to add, I just watched the anime completely, like, season 1 through just the second one. Pretty good show. If you have a Crunchyroll subscription, or if you have Prime Video, I'd recommend giving it a watch. If you're into Ace Attorney, that is. If not, then don't bother, because there's no point. Right, now I finally got it unstuck from my teeth. There we go. Let's revoice them, why not? You're really on the ball today, Mr. Redruth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Thanks. Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. Okay, buddy, don't fucking make quotes just to put on the adverts. Oh yeah, it picks that. I love how they retain the old sounds and just... Yeah, we've already done this. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir! The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that. And when I want to examine something, I simply use X when I'm next to it. Oh, if you ever feel lost when I talk, just use triangle, okay? I'll give you great, precise advice as an ace investigator, sir. Something to try later. I got free time, I suppose. You called, sir? Is there anything you noticed that you'd like to share, Detective Gumshoe? Just I rushed over here since I heard there was a murder in your office, sir. The investigation just got started, so I guess there's not much else to say. So, were you the one who found the body, Mr. Redruth? Unfortunately, upon my return, I found my office door to be unlocked. And what awaited me inside was this whole messy affair. Ouch, that's rough. Even though I left the security of this room to a certain detective... Sorry, sir. Yes, thank you for the alarm. I know Edgeworth game is out tomorrow. I know, you don't need to give me fucking 3 reminders. My PlayStation already tells me the exact countdown. Sorry, sir. Yes, you there. Detective, what are you doing staring at the feather on my desk? Why do I even have a feather on my desk? What have we here? I think I've seen one of these before. Care to enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know! I was issued the exact same model, I think. Detective. I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much. except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize him. I finished.
Ooh, he got a wicked boo-boo.
What do we have here?
Hey, I think I've seen one of these before.
It's a police badge, detective.
Oh, hey, I have the exact same thing, actually. What a coinkydink.
Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Faith. To repay our victim was a detective, just like you. To gather a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use some logic to figure out if any of them. Okay, let's see. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives, could it have belonged to a recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time?
Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see, what have we got here? Mr. Edwards, sir, this guy's wearing a gun holster.
So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him.
You're gonna be okay with keeping track of evidence we find, sir?
Of course. This is the safest way I knew how to keep track of all.
Alright, if you say so.
It's been a while since I've genuinely voiced Ace Attorney characters. I haven't played it in a decent while. Yeah, just stop speaking in your head, I don't like to voice those. There we go.
As I always say, you gotta look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use R to rotate an object, there's no such thing as a bad angle. Use L1 and R1 to zoom in and get the nitty gritty. To think it's so easy to take a life with just to pull the trigger.
You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones they use at track and field meets to start races. If you take off before it's fired, everyone always ends up following your lead. To chase you down for a false start, detective. Now that you mention it, even when I finished first, I was wind up in last place. So the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wrestling the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Redress? We have no proof for now, but if there's a distinct possibility. Let's give the body a once over and exploit all the little abdominal area.
Looks like the bullet passed clean to his stomach area, sir.
In other words, he was shot. You know, for a game titled Investigations, scratch that, Ace Attorney Investigations, we sure aren't making any discoveries that only an Ace would be able to solve. Hell, when I was 5, I couldn't guess that.
Yep, until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that.
Please have the body sent to the morgue once I've done processing crime scene.
I don't believe that packed those files on these shelves so tight. Not even an earthquake could make them fall off, but now just look at them. At this rate, the rest of the files won't be able to withstand an earthquake at all.
As Killer Gumshoe, what if a bookshelf falls over? If a Gumshoe file packing is so secure, why aren't you this good at everything? A problem to be sure. Well, once the investigation is over, we'll put them back up on the shelf. Are we just gonna ignore the bloody text?
Your files are all over the floor, sir.
They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer.
Oh, and I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, this just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless.
I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room.
Well, I watered the flowers every day just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special.
For about half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean up this place until it sparkled. Does he have a life? So many uses for that screenshot. There's no more going to find out, which is from the way to odd. How did I voice this guy? I fucking hate this shit, man. It's always the characters that I only voice about once per case. Now I have to find my video. I'm best off looking in YouTube Studio so I can actually search for it because I upload too much shit. Shut up. No, don't upload anything. Yes. Well, that narrows it down a little. Gem! You pushed Gumshoe! Why, oh why? How could this have happened to a guy like you? You just fucking push Gumshoe. You don't push Gumshoe. Are you alright? Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Just let me be. Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body? Don't talk about it like he's just some lump of flesh. Well, he is now. Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night. Sure, just no bloodstained suit, pal. Where are my manners? Where are your tears? You don't seem upset. Aren't you that prosecutor? Why, yes I am. I'm Jack Parchman, prosecutor. Jim here was my partner in crime busting. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and I'm, like you, I am also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir. So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office. Yes, that is correct. Then it was you. You're the one who killed Jim. Hey, don't go jumping on to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not. I know how things work around here. Hi, prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on his business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could have gotten in here was me. Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then, you're Jim's killer. No way, pal, you got it all wrong. Everyone calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you're a real prosecutor, you should know how to stay collected. Investigation's only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. Edgeworth is just... so fucking cool. You sure are one cool customer though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? A pleasure to work with you. You guys are conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then, it's your room after all. Thank you. I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there! Sir? I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. Edgeworth's not having it? Oh, no, he is. He runs so goofy.
Your jacket, sir. What's it doing on the floor?
Must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round.
So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot the ultra special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster.
Yeah, that would have been a disaster. But he was attractive when he wore it. It's not worth getting worked up over, Detective. Not when there's something more here.
Huh? Like what?
I take it you haven't noticed yet, Detective. There is a giant contradiction right here in front of us.
Really?
Did I say contradiction? It must be very wrong. It's starting to sound like him.
Phoenix, right?
That means I will conduct this investigation live. When the scene before the contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when the detective's thoughts come into play. This is the bullet hole where the contradiction lies. Press for something's off, I shall point my cursor and press. Eureka! This bullet hole is a contradiction.
What do you mean, sir?
It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim, and the second felled this frame.
Hey, that's right.
However, this gun was only fired once.
Hey, that's true too.
Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun.
By the way, I noticed something, sir.
Yes?
What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame?
How that? It's a secret safe.
A secret safe? Oh, I smell money.
I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way.
Roger that. Talk about dusting.
I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while.
I had no idea there was a safe in your heart. I kept it clean for you, sir. So when you put this thing in?
It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one.
Really? I had no idea.
Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence.
So, what's inside this treasure?
Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session.
That's it. Talk of squash my hopes and dreams.
So, Phoenix just carries all the bullshit random evidence around with him in a cutesy little bag, which he then presents to people for them to say, fuck off, I don't care. Whereas Edgeworth just slams them in a safe and walks off and only carries the important evidence. Interesting.
Found something, sir?
This keypad, don't you find it to be a bit too clean?
Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself.
You there, forensic scientist.
Yes, sir?
Could you please dust this area for fingerprints?
You got it, sir. I couldn't find, let alone lift a single print. Looks like it was wiped out well.
As I thought. Yeah, I know. The killer's motive was... I believe I figured out what the murderer was after.
Well, what is it, sir?
The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints on it suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open up my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. There's a possibility that the files splayed on the floor. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. He's not Godot, he's not going to make weird metaphors. Are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer.
Oh, you mean like it could be from the killer trying to find something, sir?
Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelf files like you've never seen before, even in a library.
Oh, sure, let's give that a try.
Why do all the good ones always die young? Owie!
Ew, he's stinky. Ew, he looks stinky. Ew, he's probably now stinky. Surely you must pun that every once in a while, Mr. Redruth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. Well, in a kind of way they do. All we can do is search for the truth. And, so what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place.
You got it. Here, let me help.
So this file goes here, that book goes there.
You sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Redruth's office.
Cause I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal. Okay? Done.
It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here.
The bloodstains on this bookshelf are still fresh.
I suspect the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the print on the shelf.
You got on the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out.
Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now.
But you know I'm no good with blood, sir.
There is clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole.
What do you mean, sir?
You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up.
What are the guys got while they're sitting or lying down, sir?
That would be illogical. The victim leaned against his shelf here after being shot, which suggests he was standing when he was initially shot.
And that means... wait, what does that mean, sir?
It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of using mine, detective. Poor gumshoe. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. And it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. Some old deception. I believe the order of the files is a bit off.
May I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir.
Oh?
Yeah, you see how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down there? They're up to 1, 2, and 3. That's really weird.
Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They're exactly as I see them in my mind's eye.
But the numbers are all out of order.
Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this we know the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. So that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, Detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out.
Do you think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved?
We finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. Kill went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith.
And put the files back in numerical order, I guess.
Exactly. Then proceeded to shoot the victim.
Why would someone kill a man who look through your files one more time?
Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime. But why?
What is that? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood?
I'd say that's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed.
No, wait, there's gotta be some mistake! Miss Retro, sir, help me. Say something, sir.
It appears that one of my files was stolen. No, the all-important secret files. Okay. Wouldn't the file be OH? So it would be O? Like, O?
Say hello, sir. What about me and my situation?
What was OH? Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me!
You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reason.
You got it.
Mr. Richard, what are you gonna do?
What I always do in court, I'm going to cross-examine him. Not really. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique.
Oh, how did you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir?
Alright, first I'll listen to the witness's testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open my organizer with R1 and present this piece of contradictory evidence.
That's not like there's gonna be a flaw in their testimony every time, right?
Correct, and those times I need to press the witness with L1. Sometimes by pressing I can draw out new information and new or modified testimony.
Well, I think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations, too.
Very well, I'll even show you how it's done. Now watch carefully.
Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, I turned on autoplay.
You stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters that his body was hiding. And it will be by his final words that you'll be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer?
I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for the killer's arrest.
Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portman?
Hold it!
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask.
What?
Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Faith?
Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jacques and Jim. Don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jelly?
But Jim isn't even close to the real guy's name.
Well, Jack and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim.
Pet.
Slightly immersive.
Hold it!
Do you really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that?
Oh, that's true. Oh, okay, then maybe his real intent was theft.
Hey, you accuse me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth?
It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle.
I'll have you know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but...
Poor thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with, and what a motive, no?
Hold it!
And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway.
Hold it!
Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. Well, judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something.
Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal.
There's a lot a person can understand one another from first impressions alone.
Why don't you say something, sir? No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
I couldn't ask for a better setup for the game-finishing spike. Following his logic, capture why even a good detective can spot him. Now to clue Mr. Portsmouth in by presenting him with some evidence.
Objection!
Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsmouth, but there is a serious flaw in your logic. Bringing a bit of the courtroom to this, I see. No problem. I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me. Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. If you have the time to laugh, you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portsmouth? Nothing. The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
Objection!
It's possible they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the flaw was not that the file was stolen after it was written on. I can't read. The missing letters in the detective's name, where the file should be as proof.
Yeah, I mean the S is gone, there's only half an H.
If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood over the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Ah!
Which means what exactly? What does that make this dying message?
It makes it the work of criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene.
That's so low, I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir, you'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time.
Well, Mr. Portsmouth? Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. You win some, you lose some. That's how life goes.
Glad he was so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive.
But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however.
What is it this time? You still after me, pal?
Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office?
That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth just proves that I'm innocent, pal.
That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense you still have something to say? Well, I was thinking, did you know there was one other person with a key to this office? Hey, you there! Yes, sir! What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? A lady? The girl is a member of the building security. Think of her as a material witness. Maggie Bird.
Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal. Don't!
I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of the security. Detective Gumshoe, sir?
Maggie?
Miss Bird is a security guard on watch tonight. I see. And your point is? My point is that she could have very well used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all office doors in this building.
What?
If you're not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you? I would never sneak into someone's room.
That's right, I refuse to believe that Maggie's a culprit, pal. It was me, that's right, I did it.
Can we take that as a confession, Detective?
Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problems with that, right?
Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. I have a little something to say. How the hell did we get such a good suspense theme that they've used it for 4 games now? I'm assuming it's probably going to be in I2. So it will be in Prosecutor's Gambit, most likely. And when I eventually get to the Apollo Justice Collection, it would seem that it may or may not end up there. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck in your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe is the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable if she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying she used the master key? Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me.
Hold it!
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight she is it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to? Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated.
What do you mean, unrelated? I want to hear what you have to say, pal.
But you can't really trust her not to tell lies, plus I hate wasting time. Not so fast. I, too, am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that, Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 AM, sir. What fucking time is this? Ah, it's 2 AM. Oh, sick. Hi, Maggie! What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't anyone in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't let it sound like you'll be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir. If that's the case, I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. Likely story. Where's your proof that he was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and found it again. I never lose things, I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it.
Yeah, pal, trust me. You don't want to test just how bad her luck is.
Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth.
But... You still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Central's office.
Her motive? Then why would I establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portman says, Detective.
Hold it!
I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, glad to hear that the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with little old me. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves in the safe... Hey, good thinking, asking for my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence?
Hold it!
Well, I thought we established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. It was just a theory, one hypothesis among the many other possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning. If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first? Now, don't make that face. See, there goes the truth running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can catch up to it. I don't think you're catching my drift. But we are in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you'll understand what I say. That since she's the only one who could have opened your office door, there's only Miss Bird's suspect. Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions? Are you saying there's another way to open the door, other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you're a spare made for someone else? I'll have you know I have never made a spare. So, what are you insinuating? Nothing. Guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would.
Hold it!
Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors.
Really? I never knew I was so talked about, sir.
We're holding a collective breath here now. The one you screwed so badly that you're literally chased off the force.
Wait, what? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth?
Of course not, that's hogwash. I've never heard someone say hogwash other than Von Karma. Manfred. Oh yeah, I heard his voice in the anime and I just realized how completely wrong I was narratively. For me, he kind of sounded like a very angry pirate. Who's messaging now? Oh god. What now?
Hold it! Hold it!
Oh, I'm not being muted the whole fucking time. Great.
Objection!
Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird... Oh, fuck off! That Miss Bird was set on stealing something. Why not? It's the truth after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole theory conclusion anyway. That may be, but you also must be aware of this, the fact that this safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted.
Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. That means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either.
Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. You look a bit nervous there, pal. Anything you can't share? What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Curses, why? What made you?
What's with the angry face all of a sudden?
It's all my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you just say? We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I filled him in on the secret safes.
Then that means...
Yeah, I know, I only just told him to. Obviously it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's claiming the victim was the thief. And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you, Miss Maggie Bird? Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job, but killing is going a bit far, even in your risky profession.
What the? You're still accusing Maggie of murder?
Yes and no. I mean, she'd probably stumbled over Jim, who'd probably draw his gun. I get it, it was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir.
Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to this office.
Which is precisely why he had to steal it. What would you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Postman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? Now, then I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out?
You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Redshirt's office.
Yeah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You're all suspects of varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show.
Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit.
Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But sir, we have no choice but to accommodate his requests. For now. Thank you, Mr. Edwards. At least one of you understands. Now, if you could remove yourself from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now, don't. Don't. The fuck's this? Don't. Now, don't disappoint me, you hear? That's a big to be continued. Turn up trigger. Interesting. Well, if that's all,